Hi, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this really cool 3D cutting board. The first thing I did was cut my walnut, maple, and cherry boards down to 15 inches. After that, I took them over to my jointer to square up one side, followed by an edge. Next, I ripped my maple and cherry boards to 6 inches. I would have done the same for my walnut board, but I didn't have one wide enough. Since I'll end up resawing and flipping it open, I cut it at 3 inches. Then I went ahead and cleaned up the last remaining face over at the planer. With all my wood nice and square, I resawed the cherry and walnut boards into two pieces just over 10 millimeters thick. My maple boards were resawed into 4 pieces at just over 5 millimeters thick. Then it was over to the drum sander to get them down to their exact thicknesses of 10 millimeters and 5 millimeters. For the first glue up, I sandwiched my cherry board between 2 pieces of maple. While that was drying, I glued up my walnut boards and glued them in between 2 pieces of maple as well. Then I quickly ran both pieces through the joiner to give me a clean reference edge. This was followed by cutting a 60-degree bevel on the edge of each board. Then I moved the fence over to the other side of the blade and cut these strips from my board. They should measure 10 millimeters this direction. Next, we have to cut off these 2 little corners. So I set my fence up and took off 1 corner from all the strips. Then I moved it over a little bit and took off the other one. You should be left with pieces that look like this on the end. This is also how you will arrange them for the next glue up. I glued mine up into 2 sections. When it was dry, I scraped off all the glue so as to not gum up my drum sander. I only took off a fraction here since I didn't want to affect the pattern at all. Then I cross-cut my panels into roughly 1 1/4 inch strips. Next, you want to flip all your pieces so the end grain is up and arrange them as shown. This will create the 3D cube pattern for the final glue up. And a Apparently I forgot to hit record, but here's the last bit of me awkwardly spreading glue around and making a big mess. Take extra care to line up all of the corners of the cubes across the rows. I then ran it through my drum sander to clean it up. And flushed off my quite uneven edges at the table saw. All of the edges then got a 1/8 inch round over. This was followed by quite a bit of hand sanding to remove any chip out and burning from the routed edge. The rest of the board was then sanded through 320 grit. Now, time for everybody's favorite part, or at least mine, coating the board in mineral oil and watching the pattern really come alive. And lastly, here are some shots of my finished project. If you enjoyed this video, then I'd greatly appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.